All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the sincere apostles and elders of our great millstone, who are my teachers, and peace and salutations to you brothers out there preaching this word in truth and sincerity. This is the brother Yahweh Shai with another lesson. And basically, man, I just wanted to get into a World War III update, news and prophecy, man, and line up the things, the current events that are happening right now with the scriptures. All right, and so the first article that I have here, it says U.S. Defense Department eyes possible threat of unidentified phenomena. All right, or in other words, UAPs, aka UFOs, which we know to be the Most High's chariots. All right, according to the Bible, and so it says the U.S. Department of Defense said Wednesday that it would be taking further steps to ensure the safety of U.S. personnel, bases, and installations after the arrival of an annual report to Congress on unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAP. And so this is a beautiful thing, man, because at the same time you have this happening, World War III is boiling over there in the so-called Middle East. All right, we see the whole war between Israel and Hamas, and we see that it's dragging America into this war, man. All right, even if these Americans don't want to go into it, all right, pretty soon there is going to be a draft, all right, because the American army is not getting enough military personnel to join up, man. You know, so this is all according to prophecy, and it's beautiful because at the same time of that happening, they're having to focus on the so-called UFOs, which are the Heavenly Father's chariots, man. All right, and so real quick, I wanted to get this, the book of Zechariah, chapter 5 and verse 3. And it says, Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For every one that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it. And every one that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. And we know that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, he's a liar, he's a demon, he's a devil. All right, and all he does is he lies and he steals, man. All right, and so it says in verse 4, which is the point, I will bring it forth, saith Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, which we know the house of the thief being the nation of Edom over here in America, aka Babylon the Great in the scriptures. All right, and so it says, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And how does he swear falsely? All right, by saying that he is the true Israelite. All right, which he doesn't even say Israelite. He says Israeli. All right, he calls himself Jewish. All right, because those people know that they're not the real Jews that are over there in the land of Israel right now, man. Those are what you would call Khazars, man. All right, and they're fake Jews. And so it says, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. That's right, because ultimately the Heavenly Father is going to send his chariots. When he sends Yahweh Shai back, man, it's written that he's going to return with the glory of his strength, you know, meaning those chariots, man, and he's going to return with the armies of heaven. All right, and they're going to be, those so-called UFOs are going to be shooting lasers down, all right, destroying this place. All right, and then those thermonuclear missiles are going to be sent here as well. All right, so this is all according to prophecy. And so we're seeing Esau starting to enter into those straits as spoken about in Job. All right, let's go ahead and get that. The book of Job, chapter 20. And I want to jump right to the point. Verse 20, and it reads, Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desire. Which, what does he desire, man? All right, to ultimately cut off you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and North American Indians, you true biblical Israelites. He wants to cut you off from the Heavenly Father. And if he can't do that, then he wants to just destroy this whole earth, man, which is why he pollutes the air, the food, the water. All right, he pollutes the land. All right, everything that he touches, he pollutes. Okay, and so it says, there shall none of his meat be left, therefore shall no man look for his goods. That's right, because ultimately Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is going to be cut off forever. All right, he's going to be destroyed even to the foundation thereof. All right, and so it says in verse 22, in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. That's right, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And we're seeing that these different nations starting to come against Esau, Edom over here in America, man. All right, they're calling the Americans out. All right, saying how the West is trying to pollute the souls of men. All right, and we're seeing them starting to buck up against that land of Israel, those fake Jews over there, which is really the tribe of Amalek from the nation of Edom. All right, they're starting to call them out for the devils that they are, man. All right, telling them that Hamas is just responding to the ongoing what's it called, like torture that the Israelis have been casting upon them, man. And it's beautiful. All right, and so back in this article, it says the Department of Defense and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence together delivered the report, which sought to further understand any potential threats that might be posed by UAP, because ultimately Esau Edom, he knows the prophecy that is going to come to pass whenever Yahweh Shai returns with the host of heaven. And so it says, U.S. defense leaders said the protection of U.S. operations on land, at sea, in the sky, and in space is paramount. Because why? He knows that's where Yahweh Shai is going to return from, man. All right, Yahweh Shai is going to crack them clouds open, and he's going to return in the glory of his strength, man. All right, and he's not going to meet Esau as a man. All right, and so I'll go ahead and post the links of these articles in the description. That way you brothers and you sisters can read these things on your own. But I want to go ahead and jump to my next article. All right, so my next article is going to be, where is it at? Right here. It says U.S. State Department issues worldwide caution alert as tensions in the Middle East soar. Says, citing the potential for terrorist attacks and violence, the State Department warned Americans worldwide to exercise increased caution. That's right, because that Israeli Hamas war, hey, it's looking like this is gonna drag the whole world into the war, man. All right, it's gonna drag the whole world into this war, and we're gonna see these prophecies starting to amp up, man. All right, they're going to come to pass. All right, and that's why it's important that we stay vigilant. We stay on our watch, man. All right, because we're seeing the end of Esau's kingdom right now happening and manifesting right in front of us right now. All right, so real quick, I want to jump to the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 10, and it reads, or Salakia, 14, Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14, and it reads, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. That's right, and that's what we're seeing, man. These things have been heating up every day for the past 2 weeks. There's been something new that has been happening, man. All right, this war has just been getting worse and worse. All right, you're starting to have all these attacks on the so-called Jews, man. All right. You're starting to have the attacks on those Palestinians, man. All right, like this man, he had these tenants. I believe it was over there in Chicago, Illinois, man, and he stabbed up the 6-year-old and the mom for being Palestinian, man. I believe they were Palestinian, if I'm not mistaken. So hey, these things are happening, and we're seeing these prophecies come to pass. All right, so real quick, it says back in this article, Washington, the U.S. State Department issued a worldwide caution alert on Thursday due to soaring tensions in the Middle East and elsewhere triggered by the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. That's right, and even over here in Texas, man, they're saying that Texas is already being affected. All right. And so it says, citing the potential for terrorist attacks, demonstrations, or violent actions against U.S. citizens and interests, the State Department warned Americans abroad to exercise increased caution. And why is that? Because this whole world, man, is getting tired of you devils, man. All right, specifically the so-called white man going around and taking that which is not his. All right, matter of fact, let's get that in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 6, It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, and that thick clay being that debt. All right, and we know that Esau is in a lot of debt, $33 trillion in debt, matter of fact, and it's only increasing. All right, and so now we're seeing all these nations take up a taunting proverb against Esau, Edom, man. All right, and not only over there in Israel, but also over here in America, man. All right, because they know that America is supporting those Israelis over there. All right, and so, and we also see through the spirit that this could also be a false flag event, because we know that the famine of the word has to come. All right, that the persecution has to come. All right. And so it says back in this article, the State Department and the White House did not immediately respond to CNBC's request for comments. It says earlier in the week, the State Department raised its travel advisory alert to Lebanon and warned U.S. citizens not to travel to the country due to the unpredictable security situation related to rocket, missile, and artillery exchanges between Israel and Hezbollah or other armed militant factions. The State Department has directed U.S. citizens who are looking for help departing Israel, the West Bank, Gaza, and Lebanon to fill out a crisis intake form. All right, so these things, it's only going to get worse, man. All right, matter of fact, that leads me to my next article. It says rockets, drones hit Iraqi bases housing U.S. forces. And it says Anbar, Iraq, drones and rockets targeted 2 military bases housing U.S. forces in Iraq on Thursday. Sources and officials said the latest in a series of attacks after Iraqi militants warned Washington against intervening to support Israel against Hamas in Gaza. And what did America do? They sent those 2 warships, man. All right, with housing, I believe it was like over 2,000. It was around 2,000 troops, man. You know, and what they said is that they were sending them over as a flex of strength. All right, and that just as an aid to be on defense. But hey, we're seeing that America is gonna get dragged into this war, man. All right, why? Because this is what the Heavenly Father wants. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai is gathering the nations round about. All right, let's go ahead and jump to that. The book of Joel, chapter 3, and verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which in the Hebrew would be Yahweh Shaphat, meaning Yahweh's judgment. All right, and so it says, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. All right, so the Lord is the one that's gathering these nations over there in the so-called Middle East. All right, and he's the one that's putting these thoughts into these militaries' minds, man, to drag America and the rest of these nations into this war, because we know that according to NATO, if one of the countries in that organization gets attacked, then that's an attack on the whole organization, man. You know, so, and we're starting to see that these people, man, they're dragging America right along into it, man. All right, so back into this article, it says rockets and drones were fired at an Ain al-Assad air base, which hosts U.S. and other international forces in western Iraq, and multiple blasts were heard inside the base, 2 security sources said. It says the Iraqi military said it closed the area around the base and started a search operation. It was not clear yet whether the attacks caused casualties or damage, said the sources. All right, and so this isn't the only place that was attacked. Matter of fact, there was other attacks that happened. All right, in this article it says U.S. troops under drone attack in Iraq and Syria. So it says U.S. troops in the Middle East came under attack from suspected Iran-backed militias on Thursday night in an escalation that threatened to pull global powers into the Gaza conflict. The U.S. Navy also said it intercepted missiles and drones fired from Yemen and headed potentially towards targets in Israel. And so, hey, this thing is heating up, man. And it's beautiful because we know that this is what the Heavenly Father wants to prescribe, man. So from here, I want to get to the book of Zephaniah, chapter 1, jumping down to verse 14, and it reads, "The great day of Yahweh is near, it is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of Yahweh, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly." And that's what we're seeing, man. These men crying bitterly, man. We're talking about war. All right, actually, I was watching this video yesterday on Redacted, and it was he was a retired military veteran pretty much, and he was talking about how America's gonna get dragged into this into this war, and how they no longer have the same strength that they used to have, you know. And so, hey, it's a beautiful thing that these things are happening, because we know that our salvation is near. All right. And so it says in verse 15, that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolations, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. That's right. The nations that have all the power, that are sitting safely, man. All right. This is the days that the trumpet is being blown, man. All right, not only by the prophets of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, but also by these heathen nations round about. They're all gearing up for war. And it's beautiful, man, because they know that we're already in World War III. All right. And so it says, verse 17, "And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against Yahweh, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of Yahweh's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a